From the OUTV Broadcast Center in Los Angeles, California, this is Brief News Brief, a brief look at today's trending news topics, proudly combating the thought police since 2016. Here's your host, James Heaney.
I'm James Heaney, and this is your Brief News Brief. The United States will pull out of a nuclear arms control treaty with Russia. So that's it, America. The age of nukes is officially back. Don't you feel safer? Now, this is going to end a cornerstone Cold War agreement, since Russia's apparently been violating the treaty anyways. But you know Donald Trump. He's not a fan of treaties. The 1987 Intermediate Range Nuclear Force Treaty, it's called the INF Treaty, it eliminated all nuclear and conventional missiles as well as their launchers if they were within the range of 500 to 1,000 kilometers. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said that this marks a 6-month countdown to a final U.S. withdrawal. Now, Russia is basically on notice, saying you got 6 months to get rid of the missiles, or else the U.S. is going to start to bulk up our own missiles and build them wherever we want. That leaves, 6 months. That leaves a very slim chance that maybe Russia could end this missile program that's widely seen as a violation and salvage the treaty. But will anything really salvage the treaty? The United States claims that Moscow's been in violation of this agreement since 2014, and they're fed up. But Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov told reporters Friday that Russia's greeting this news with much regret. Well, I'll tell you what, many NATO diplomats are greeting this move with much regret as well. They say that they prefer not to be blown to smithereens in a new arms race. So please don't end this treaty. The last thing we need in these tumultuous times is more people with nuclear weapons. Please. Polar Vortex 2019? Yikes. How cold was it in the upper Midwest yesterday? It was so cold that if you tossed boiling water into the air, it would turn into ice crystals before it hit the ground. As many as 200 million Americans bundled up, protecting themselves from the frigid temperatures that plunged below zero. Some were perplexed by loud booms or cracking sounds. In Chicago specifically, where weather dropped to below zero, some reported hearing these noises, and it turns out that they could be a weather-related phenomenon known as cryoseisms. It's like frost ice quakes. So when saturated soil or water quickly freezes underground, as it did during the polar vortex, it expands quickly, and then eventually the mass breaks, creating a loud booming sound. If the surrounding area can't support it, frost quakes happen. They're not earthquakes like we know earthquakes. It's not shifting tectonic plates. It's basically the equivalent of putting a water bottle in the freezer and then go pow. You get to hear the loud thing, but that's going on underground. And it's possible that these frost quakes are likely to be a thing of the past because temperatures are already beginning to climb in the Midwest, and they're heading into a warmer weekend. But it's not just the Midwest that was experiencing some extreme weather patterns that brought cities and towns across the globe to a standstill. Parts of Europe said that they also had record lows in recent days. But despite all those odds, Australia's Bureau of Meteorology announced that it had been the country's hottest January on record. Well, quit bragging, Australia. This is weather to the extreme. U.S. Customs and Border Protection officials announced on Thursday that they had their biggest fentanyl bust ever. Officials captured nearly 254 pounds. We're talking 114 kilograms, if that's the way that you like to measure it up, of the synthetic drug. Wow, that's a lot of fentanyl. This is the drug that's fueling the nationwide epidemic of fatal opioid overdoses. So how was the biggest drug bust ever of fentanyl orchestrated? Well, it turns out the drugs were stashed in a secret compartment inside a load of Mexican produce heading into the mainland across the regular old entrance of the United States on the Arizona border. Now, the drugs were actually found on Saturday morning, but they decided to announce it yesterday. Not sure why. Maybe they were hoping to catch other people before the word got out that it was, captured. I'm not trying to write the docu-series on how this bust happened, but that could be. Officials performed a scan of the vehicle during a routine inspection, which indicated some anomalies, which I haven't heard what they are. They're probably trying to keep them secret so that they don't tip off other drug dealers that are trying to get through the borders. Nonetheless, that triggered an agency to sic the police dog team on the car, and the dogs found the drugs. It was dogs that found it. We don't need a wall. We need dogs. We don't need flying drones. We can use organic robots we call dogs. They're man's best friends. You might have heard of them. They're everywhere. Dogs save the day again. The street value of these drugs were $3.5 million worth of fentanyl and $1.8 million worth of methamphetamine. So you just know that there's some big-time drug lord out there that is not pleased. He's probably going to have to borrow money from his mom to pay rent this month. So everybody's feeling the hurt of the economy these days. And the outcome of this drug smuggling plans, not good, not good. Mexican traffickers have been increasingly smuggling this drug into the United States. They're mostly hiding it in passenger vehicles and tractor trailers as they try to head through ports of entry in the Nogales. I don't even know where the Nogales is. Arizona and San Diego. Well, better luck next time, screwface. I don't know. Bad guy, evildoer.